We're back to building today, and I gotta tell you, it feels good knowing what we're about to get done. Of course, also welcome back to the dock area, which is actually not the area we're in today. We're in the area next to the docks, which is right over here, just above it. And this is where we're going to be focusing all of our attention today. Of course, getting some good builds done. I've got a lot of little builds to get done. First of all, beautiful textured floor up here. I've got some very weird plans for it. I think maybe I can give a little bit of a hint. There we go. The other one is, I want to make a cool semi-spiral staircase. It sounds weird, and it is weird, but it's not a spiral staircase, but it is a spiral staircase. So that's the next big one. I want to get trees in, I want to get some other stuff in, and more importantly, just a load of color, making this area here look updated, and making a perfect platform for us to start building the next layer on these things. And I want to explain what we've got coming up when we, of course, get a bit further in the episode. But for now, I'm going to get my stuff and we can get some building done. The first stop-off we're making right now is to improve the look of the front of our building that we're in right now. So I'm getting some banners because I think they will help add a bit more color into the area. And not only that, look at this. This area, it's desperately needing some love. We can do a much better job than this, and we are about to do a much better job. First of all, I've also just planned some stuff out. I've made a gap here and a gap there. This is to make the storage room look a little bit bulkier, and the extra gap is just so that we've got a good place for a spiral staircase to go up. So that's the future plans. It means that I will not be building in areas that I shouldn't be building. So here's what I'm thinking. I want to do something similar to what we've done. I hope I can get back up here. Similar to what we've done right over there. And it's not very obvious, but if you have a look very carefully, there's a staircase block upside down, and this over here pushes one block out. But you know what? It's just easier for me to show you here. So we're going to do something like this. We go staircase block there, that block there, and the same sort of thing going along the whole run here. So we go staircase block, another one in the, yep, in there and in there. And because I can count how many gaps there were going to be, I know that there should be one and another one. If I am correct, please tell me I got this right, else I'm going to look really silly. Yeah, good. No more left. Perfect. Wonderful. So then what I was thinking is we could do something like this and just alternate, and hopefully my plan has worked and we've got a little bit of a better looking front, we do, than what we had before. Look at that. Those banners are just very useful just to add a little bit of color without having to have too much meaning. And I feel like most of the time I put a banner down, I say, you know, this is for the city, it's a flag, blah, blah, blah. It means nothing. We just want some cool colors. And I think we've actually got some cool colors there. So that's good. The next thing I could just do a little bit of texturing there. But there is one controversial thing that I wanted to get done at the beginning of this episode, you know. You got to do it. Double the amount of diorite, actually. Double the diorite for the controversy. So first of all, diorite blocks. I need to know. There's a part of me that's just saying, just do it. They might work. And I think I can maybe find some middle ground and say the polished is the way to go. Oh, whoa. That one, yeah, that one's cracked already. Very poor quality stuff, this. But I don't know. I actually kind of like that. In a weird way, that is not a bad look. You know what? I'm probably well off. Do I have any? No, I don't have any crafting table here. I want to make some stairs with these, and I want to see if they can maybe work. Right, half and half. How do they look? I'm going to leave them. I actually quite like them. You know what? Tell me if I'm extremely wrong with these, but I think those actually are looking pretty darn good right over there. So I'm going to move these ones over, put some more of the diorite in there, and we'll be back. All right, there we go. A little bit of an update. And of course, diorite is slowly retreating back into nothingness, but I'm going to find a use for it one day. Mark my words. It's a very useful block, and it's a pretty block. We will have to do it one day. Right around there is a new feature wall with said feature on wall. And of course, right at the top here, behind this fence, is where things are getting super serious super quickly. So, thoughts. We're going to have to put a floor in here. What we have to do is think about this area a little bit more than just that. And I did mention it when we were building our last little house on the other side of how I picture the area moving forward and this city moving forward, and what I've learned from my world previously. First of all is we want to get a bit more vertical well, verticality, I guess would be the word. I don't even know if that is the case, but we want to get some more variation in where the floor is, basically. We want the floor to be on this height, we want it to be on the next height, and I think that's going to help break up those floors that tend to look quite monotonous. I'm also going to be using a weird textured floor, which I think a lot of people would be very uncomfortable seeing, and trust me, you're gonna see it. And if you don't know where I'm going with this, if you've been in my streams, you've probably seen me do this, but I haven't really used it too much in the world. But pretty much what it is using these red blocks, and it's gonna look very jarring. You're gonna say, I can't believe this guy thinks he can build and does this. But you gotta give me some time. Trust me, it's gonna slowly work on you, and eventually you're gonna say, that texture is actually a texture I'm going to be using in my world, and I'm going to be sending comments and liking videos thanking this guy for giving me one of the weirdest textures. It's going to happen. It happens every time. So that is what I'm going to do for you right now. So getting a whole bunch of stuff in there, maybe a bit too much, but we'll work it out. We need those, we need these, and we also need some of these blocks. And it's going to look weird. As I say, it's going to be strange. But basically what I'm doing is I'm using the brick block as what I would normally use as a cobblestone block, I guess, which is the really jarring block. And then the block that's going to be the very light block, obviously the hardened clay. Then we've got in-between blocks like those and these, which are a good in-between to these. So you can see we can get a neat little texture. But I think this sort of floor needs a little bit more roughness to it. So that's why I'm going to be putting in a few more of the bricks like that, so we can keep it looking very brick-like. So now, of course, we add a few more of these. Maybe one of those in there. And I'm just going to mess around with these textures until I feel like I've got it right. Because a lot of these texturing projects are all about feeling if the area works out. So something like that. Yeah, that sort of little area there is definitely a good one for us. I also, when I'm underneath here, I want to do something which I haven't done before, at least in big amounts. And that is doing this. For a very good reason. If ever we're going to be walking through here at night, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. When you see the light coming through a slab block, and it really doesn't make sense, and it looks a little bit silly. So I'm going to be doing this. I know a lot of people missed out on last episode, so I'll fill you guys in on something which I think is rather cool, and maybe a little bit of my idea. But of course, I recommend catching up with the last episode because it was very interesting to what this world may be in the future, and I think these are going to be a big deal. So first of all, I need to get up here real quick. That is actually a zombie spawnable block, I think, so I should fix that up real soon. Actually, we're good. Why can't I jump up here? I'm just being an idiot. Maybe that's why. All right, so watch this. This is hilarious if there's enough of these guys in here. So I place this block over here. Look how quick they shoot out. It was way worse when I had quite a few more of those guys in there, but sadly they are no longer with us because they escaped. Like this guy, don't know how he got out. But what I'm doing is I'm sending a few of these lucky villagers to go and become pirates. So see you later, buddy. Don't mind him. And we'll send another few more over, and I'll show you what's going on. So new guy, load it up, go for it. Oh, he's a librarian. Not for long. So those lot of guys should be already here, and in fact, I just see a little head of a librarian, and that tells me all I need to know. Now, while I've got you here, of course, this is my stuff that I did in the last episode. Not this whole village, but the transport system to get these pirates around here. How cool is that? Of course, if you have missed the last episode, or the last few episodes really, the link is in the description to this video. And of course, while we are sitting around our new populated pirate town, which is super good to say because it just brings a bit of life into this area, I want to quickly let you guys know about what's going on with our channel, because we've actually got a problem on our YouTube channel, which is being solved as we speak, hopefully. I really hope it is. And I'll explain to you what it is, because it's very quick, very easy to understand, and of course, there is a way that you guys can kind of get around it. So the issue is, when I upload a video to YouTube, YouTube thinks that the video doesn't actually exist on my channel, which is a very strange thing. And I have got in touch with YouTube customer support, which actually exists, despite the fact that people say it doesn't. And I have actually said that for ages, but I managed to find a link. Please don't fall in there. I have managed to find a way of getting in touch with them, and they have looked into my issue and have pushed it on further to get checked on the back end of YouTube. So we have a problem and it's getting fixed. Two great things. But basically, as I say, YouTube thinks the video is uploaded to a different channel, and that is why I cannot add it to a playlist. I cannot add a whole bunch of things onto my video, which would make YouTube send you, who is trying to watch my video, a notification. The other thing is, it will not easily show up in suggested feeds because, of course, YouTube would say, this viewer, one of these guys, is viewing my videos and is on episode 90, the last episode, and then I'll release 91. But because that is not part of that same playlist, YouTube won't necessarily see that you are watching these videos in an order, which means that when I release a video, even if you rely on it to show up in a suggested box, it may only show up in a suggested box based on certain other parameters that are on YouTube, not necessarily because it's part of the series. So that's a little bit of something you can do to help yourself out to find the video. Just click the notification bell and hopefully that problem gets resolved soon. I'm waiting on an email back from the guy in this next week, hopefully, about that. So super frustrating stuff, very annoying, but you know what? At least we've got to the heart of it and we've actually got something going on to help us with this. So our next stage is going to be putting in our spiral staircase over here. And the reason why I said spiral but kind of not is half of it is going to be going from here in a spiral staircase start. So we're going to go up and around this pillar, and then we're going to go straight up there. And I'll give a few tips as well, because I know some people struggle. In fact, most people struggle getting a good looking spiral staircase. And you know what? It doesn't have to be hard. It's actually quite easy when you get your brain around what you need to actually do. But here we go. This is what it looks like. Think of that. Look at that. Like, just picture it like that. I'll cut off the stuff that isn't done. You see that? That doesn't look that weird now, does it? It's just weird when you think about it and when you start. But once it starts going for a while, you get your mind around it and you actually like it. And I'm kind of glad that we've got a little bit of time between the two. And I've also put in these pieces here which help out. So this is what I was saying about multiple levels. Level 1 and then bam, another level. We'll have this over here coming up to this area here, and then we'll have that and that all different, you see? So these little bits and pieces that are going to be on different heights, I think are going to help out a lot just getting this place looking good. Now, what I want to do up here very quickly was add in some finer details, which are the colors of our future forest, which is the one that we're busy with over the past few episodes. So something like that. In fact, we don't want 2 white flowers, or well, apparently no white flowers, but we'll put 1, 2, something else, white flower, and then this. That just makes it break up the color a little bit. And then I wanted to also break up this corner here, and yeah, something like that. Don't have to go quite as crazy as what I've done there. But there we go. Something like that, just to break up that area there. And I can't quite... Actually, I can step out here. I don't have to jump over it. I can just step out like that. Yeah. So that's just something just to make that area look a little bit more presentable. Now, the staircase is going to be this part going down here. So we'll get a little bit of stairs going down, down, down. We probably have to pull that out a little bit more. And I'll work it from here. That's what we will do. So we'll start down here and work our way up there. And I'm going to give you a few little simple tips on how to start a spiral staircase. So we'll kick things off with a simple spiral staircase just to show you what the concept is and why it's actually super easy once you get the hang of it. So a single block in the middle, not going out too wide one, which is probably what you're going to be using inside of a house or something that you've built, is really easy. Because look at this. If you can go do something like this and you go half a slab up, you go up another one, go around the corner like that, half a slab up again. This is super simple. Bear in mind, this is not what we're about to do, but the concept is still there. And I think it's important to mention it. So we go up again, 1 block, go up again. Well, not 1 block, 1/2 a block, sorry. And again, like that. What'll happen when you get all the way around like this is that you'll have enough space to still not bump your head while walking up the staircase, which is generally the problem that people have. So you end up doing that. You could go all the way up, not bump your head. The staircase is a functioning one. Now, say you wanted to go a little bit wider, which is what we are doing with this. What I would suggest doing is going out 1 block on each of these. So each of these north, south, east, west, the cardinal directions, just go 1 block out. And that's going to help you know how you can fill blocks in. So already, just doing that, you could probably get away with this sort of block. But you can see, for instance, maybe if I put that block out there and put that block in there. So a little bit of an L shape and a straight block like that. And then we go again. You got to just follow the same pattern. Straight block, L shape. Straight block, L shape. Like that. You've got yourself a very easy way of making a spiral staircase. And as long as you follow that rule, you see that? It looks very, very simple, very easy. And of course, I hope I've helped someone because I know I remember struggling with this and it's actually so simple. And of course, the pattern that you use is really up to your own look. Sometimes you might find something that looks a little bit better. See, everyone's coming to learn spiral staircases. What have you got to trade me? I've taught you something. Give me something, please. Ooh. Yeah, that's good. All right, so I'll get going on the other spiral staircase. This one's pretty simple. I mean, I'm going to start here and go around this way, and I'm probably going to actually end up doing something like that, which is throwing it off a little bit. But the reason I'm doing that is to make it a bit more steep. But because I've got a bit more area to work with, I'll be able to get away with that. So don't mind me with what I'm doing here. It's actually a very similar thing to this, but you have to kind of just learn your way through this before you can get through to getting a nice one of these. But hey, I'm saying this before I've even built it, so I hope it's good. Now, how's that for a spiral staircase? I've gone the whole 9 yards. We've gone everything from texturing to shaping to a little bit of decorating actually behind there as well. But man, I'm liking that. That's exactly, well, it's not exactly what I had planned, but it's exactly the kind of feeling that I had planned for this area, where that will be an easy way to get up there. And of course, once we get rid of this one here, I want to have some path, some proper road going out as well. But this over here, look at this. Let's just appreciate the way this has turned out, because it definitely looks a lot better than what I thought it was going to look. I thought it was going to be a lot more confusing to look at, take it that way. So let's take a little bit of a step up. We start walking up around here. There we go. So that's the spiral portion of it, which could just keep going up. But then we go straight to some stairs over here. And bam, we're on the top. A little bit of merging in of the textures as well. But look at that. Nice and colorful. And it actually almost could be a great point to step up and kind of blow your mind with something crazy over here. We could think about that. But it really feels like you're in a bit more of a colder area, and then whoa, all open. I like it. So we'll have to think about that, of course. But that's a pretty neat spot to start with in terms of getting these areas connected. Now, I did say I promised trees, because in the beginning I said one of the things we're going to do are some trees. And I kind of pictured a tree being in here, one of those new spruce trees. But I think it might be a bit much. I honestly think it might be a little bit too much. There's a lot of gray there, so we're going to have to put something else there. I'm thinking I could probably do a garden of some sort with some crates below it, because it is part of the harbor area. That probably will work. But the tree I'm thinking of will actually be going on the very back of this area, which is the area that we're actually working on today. I know I'm standing down here, but it's a good spot to stand in. Because, oh man, look at that. I wish I could do some shot back to the beginning. I might do that there so you can see what's going on, how this has changed today. But I'm thinking the tree should be going up just around there somewhere. And I think I know just the spot where it'll go. All right, I gave you 2 trees, not just one. I ended up having to do another one after that one. I just felt the itch to get some trees done, and I know I'm going to, in a few weeks, have done a load of trees. But for now, I am loving this, and I'm liking the little change that they make to this area. Gives a lot of well, a very different feel. Obviously the nature, but all this vertical direction from the trees is very strange, and it breaks up these buildings, which are all kind of stuck on top of each other. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But look at that. That area. I know I said I wouldn't show it in the last clip, but I thought about it, and I've got to have the comparison between the start of the video versus now. And man, this area has taken a giant leap up. Just this piece over here, the little bit of decoration, looking absolutely awesome. Also, here is what I said about the path, well, not path, the garden just over there. Pretty neat, those underneath. So let's take a little walk. Let's go through it and make sure everything's looking good. This over here feels like it needs to go away, so there we go. We can always remove those if we need to. So that's one thing. Go up the staircase, bam, up to the top. That one's looking good. It actually blocks the windmill out a little bit, which I quite like. And then we go up here. I've completed this level as well. So we've got this, that, and multiple different floors. Look at that. Really working very well. So I want to quickly give a bit of a hint to where I'm going with this and what I expect this to look like. Up here, I'm thinking, and by the way, this is from me thinking from over there and from over here. So bear in mind, the thought that I have may work better from one of these angles, but trust me, it's going to work good. So I'm thinking over here, we need a slightly larger building with a higher peak. Picture the building coming up a little bit higher and a few smaller buildings just taking this row out over here. And that will offer us a great view from over there. And not only that, it also means that everything from there, we can start building maybe downhill, could keep going up. It's just a good spot to stop and to start, because I really don't have any set plan for this area necessarily. As far as individual plans go, I've tried building worlds where I've had everything planned out from the beginning, and I feel like there's a certain level where it helps, and there's a certain level where you go too far with the planning. So once I've got this started, I'm actually going to plan a little bit, but not a lot, as I say, not too much, because else you start putting buildings that don't fit in, you start making things fit when they shouldn't. So yeah, it just doesn't work very well for me, at least. So the next stage will be, of course, that building there. Also down here, I'm planning on building another building right around here, like just behind this tree. So we'd have the entrance over there. It'll be on the diagonal, and I'm not sure what that will be, but it'll probably end up connecting upwards. And then we'll have that path that I spoke about wrapping around over there. And I think that will work so good. We've got a lot of, like, there's so much stuff we still have to do. We've got a lot of work to do. And of course, if you guys ever think of something to put in these areas, as I say, everything is unplanned to the maximum, and I kind of like that. So we just kind of go with the flow. So if you've ever got something to add into this world, drop it in the comments. Of course, I would love to put something in this world that's maybe not necessarily my thought. Generally, they are a bit better when they're not mine. So that will do us, I guess, for all my thoughts of the day. Thank you very much for joining me here today, guys. As I say, we are having a current issue with YouTube, so if you guys do ever want to make sure you get the notifications, the bell will do great. I'll update you guys when I get some news about that. But for today, that will be us. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.